In this demo, we'll look at how the Lightning Platform Mobile empowers anyone to build, publish, and manage mobile apps with low code. Now, for the purposes of this demo, we're going to be looking at Electron Motors. And if you come into an Electron Motors retail location to take a test drive, this, sadly, is the form you'll be asked to complete. And then later, someone's going to take all that information and put it into this spreadsheet to track the vehicle that you might be interested in. Now, needless to say, this isn't a great experience. What they really want is a mobile app, and we're going to use Lightning Platform Mobile to make that happen. We'll begin by using this low-code builder tool called Object Creator to turn that spreadsheet into something more useful. And we'll do that by uploading this spreadsheet to Object Creator. So Object Creator is going to inspect the data that it sees inside of that spreadsheet and make its best guesses about the kind of field types involved. But we could override these choices if we wanted to. For example, we could change this billing status to a pick list. Now we can also use this tool to preview the data that's just about to be imported into Salesforce. And once we feel comfortable with all of this, we can click Next. And then we'll give our new object a name. In this case, we'll just call it Vehicles. And we can also choose the Salesforce features, things like chatter or search or reporting. And then when we're ready, we can click Finish. Now, a lot of stuff is happening behind the scenes right now. Object Creators is extending Salesforce with a brand new concept, the concept of a vehicle. It's creating all those rows and columns. It's importing all of that data. And when it's done, let me show you what we get. Let's go into Salesforce and then navigate to this new app we created by simply importing that data from the spreadsheet. So we've got vehicles, and now instead of that data being locked inside of spreadsheet, we can view it all through Salesforce, and we get all those features that we were talking about earlier, things like reporting. All of that just gets enabled now for our app. And this is all great, but how does this help us with mobile? Well, that's a good question. Let's go to our mobile device and then tap into the Salesforce app. And what we'll find is that all of this same information, that same app, now becomes accessible through the Salesforce mobile app. And we get all those same features now available through our phones. We also get access to Einstein Assistant, which is Salesforce's voice-activated AI solution. And using this feature, retailers can now dictate their instructions. For example, if we're working with Mike West, we could do this. I just had a conversation with Mike West, and he's ready to move forward with his vehicle purchase. Action item: create a task to send Mike a purchase agreement. And then we can click Analyze. And Einstein will use natural language processing to identify the customer that we're talking with. We can just confirm that Einstein found the right customer. And Einstein can also correctly identify that action item and actually take care of that item for us, creating a new task and linking it to Mike's account. So remember, we started out with a spreadsheet, and all we did was import it into Salesforce, and this is what we've managed to unlock just by extending Salesforce with that new concept of a vehicle and importing all of that data. But once we put this into the hands of retailers, we inevitably start getting more feature requests. Which begs the question, how do we extend and customize this solution for our unique needs? For example, what if we want a price quote feature? Or what if we want a touch-friendly car configurator? Well, let's make that stuff happen. And we can start with that price quote feature. So this is another low-code builder tool. This is Lightning Flow Builder. And using this tool, we can create the logic that's needed to calculate price quotes. That's what you're looking at here. So based on the kind of model of the car, based on the battery being selected, based on the different options, we're adding and calculating a price. And that price can then be presented to the user inside screens that we can design using this screen designer here in Flow Builder. We design these screens using a drag and drop library of components, which you're seeing on the left, that we can just drag onto this canvas. These components are also, we can get more of them through the app exchange, which is what you're seeing here, and that's actually how we ended up with this generate order component. So this is what will present that price to the end user. It'll also let them generate an order if the customer is ready to move forward with their purchase. So we can get all this designed inside of Flow Builder, but then the question becomes, okay, great. How do we embed it inside the mobile app? And to do that, we need to make use of another builder tool. This is Lightning App Builder, and we can use this to completely customize that mobile experience that we were accessing on the phone. We're going to start by creating a brand new record page. We'll give this record page a name. So in this case, I'm just going to call it Vehicle Record. It'll be the mobile version of this. And then we'll select that object. Remember, this is that object that was created by Object Creator from that spreadsheet. Click Next. Choose a page template. In this case, because it's a mobile app, we're just going to keep it simple and stay with a one region template. And then click Finish. So what do we get then? Well, we get this design surface that we can use to start constructing this mobile app. As you can see, by default, it defaults to the desktop mode, but we can absolutely toggle that into the phone mode to begin designing this mobile experience. So what do we want to do? Well, first, let's drag and drop a highlights panel component. Because we're dealing with records, this will show the end user kind of the current vehicle that they're dealing with. The next thing we want to do is embed that price quote feature that you might recall that we created using Flow Builder. And we'll drag and drop a flow component onto this canvas, and then we just need to point it at that flow that we created. In this case, we called it price quote. So we can configure that, and now all of a sudden we've got that price quote embedded right here inside the mobile app. We also mentioned that TouchFriendly Car Configurator. And we reached out to a developer friend, and they helped us create this component that you're seeing right here. And this is how we're kind of facilitating that collaboration between low-code developers and more code-centric developers as well, so that they can collaborate together to create. The other thing we'd like to do is display some of the other data that we have related to these vehicles. So in this case, what I'm going to do is drag and drop a related list component down here at the very bottom. And if we scroll down, we can see that this is just some of the data that we have associated with vehicles. Some of these things like loans and invoices and inspections, that's data that sits inside of Salesforce. In other cases, this is external data that we've integrated using a feature called Salesforce Connect, and also MuleSoft to bring in some of that data here inside of Salesforce. So with all of this in place, I think we're ready to activate these changes. So let's hit Save and then Activate. And in this case, we want to assign this page as the new default experience, but only the default experience for phones. We don't want this to display from the desktop devices. And then we can proceed forward and hit Save. And now if we go back out to our mobile device, and then I want to access these changes, all I need to do is pull down and refresh. And that new experience now pops in. And now retailers have this nice touch-friendly way of configuring customers' vehicles. And I'll draw your attention down to that price quote as I interact with this. For example, if I were to click Flash, you'll see these the price updates each time I make these changes. And then we have that Generate Order button. So in this case, we're working with Mike West. When Mike is ready to proceed with his order, with one tap, we can quickly generate that new order and change Mike's vehicle status to purchased. So this is great, right? So we started with a spreadsheet. We imported all that data into Salesforce. We instantly got a mobile app with a lot of features, but then we're able to extend that app with our own customizations. But we have one other concern at this stage. Like sometimes customers cancel their orders, and we obviously never want that to happen. Wouldn't it be great if we could use artificial intelligence to predict customers that might cancel their orders? And using another low-code builder tool, we can make that happen. So this is Einstein Prediction Builder, and it lets us click our way to a predictive model. So let me show you the one that I've created here. And we'll click Edit for it. We simply give our prediction a name, and then we point Prediction Builder at the object that we want to make a prediction on. If I scroll to the bottom of this list, you'll see Vehicle. And then if we proceed forward, if we want to make predictions for just a single data set, we could do that through here, but in this case, I'm just using all the data. And then if we proceed forward one more step, you'll see I have a checkbox field called Canceled. Now basically, we never want to see a check mark in that box. So that's the field we want to predict, which is why I've selected it here. And if we click Next, we can also point Einstein at records that we want to use as examples. And then one of the final stages is choosing the fields that we want to base a prediction on. And then finally, we give the field where our prediction will be stored. So once all of this gets run, we are able to then go in and view a scorecard. And in those cases where Einstein sees a check mark in that canceled field, we can see it's pulled out some factors that it sees contributing to it. So in this case, it looks like customers who choose that lower battery size, or customers that are maybe paying by cash, for whatever reason, they seem to be a little bit more likely to cancel their orders than customers that are using other battery sizes. So these are some of the predictive factors that Einstein sees. So now that we have this in hand, it would be great to put it into the hands of retailers. Let's do that by going back out to App Builder, and what we want to do is embed that Einstein prediction now inside this mobile app. So it'll be like a notification. We want to pop it up at the very top of the page, but we only want this to appear if there is genuinely a cancellation risk. So we're going to make use of a feature called dynamic components. We only want this component to appear if, and I'll search for it, if predicted canceled equals true. So now that this is in place, we could save, and there's no need to redeploy to app stores because we've deployed through the Salesforce mobile container. We just need to go back out to this app, pull down, refresh, and you can see now we have this cancellation risk popping in here. Einstein thinks Mike might be likely to cancel his order, and it's giving us some of the factors involved. It sees that lower battery class. We could reach out proactively to Mike, just make sure he doesn't have any other questions, make sure he's aware that, there are upgraded battery sizes if that was kind of a concern for him. It turns out, sure enough, he is interested in that, and with that TouchFriendly Car Configurator, we can quickly make that change, and you can see that notification then drops away. So throughout this demo, we've been looking at the employee experience, but we also have builder tools for creating customer-facing experiences in case you want to take some of these same features that we've created here and put them directly into the hands of customers. And we've also been showing you how all of this gets deployed through the Salesforce mobile app. But in case you wanted to have your own branded app for either your customer-facing apps or your employee-facing apps, we have a feature called Mobile Publisher that lets you very easily package all those capabilities that we've been seeing through the Salesforce mobile app, but package it in your own branded app that you can then deploy to public app stores. So this is how the Lightning Platform Mobile is empowering anyone to build, publish, and manage mobile apps with low code. Thanks for watching.